Yeah.
Greetings, Deep Dive Podcast listeners. This is your boy, Sam Orum, coming at you with another episode of the Deep Dive Podcast. How is everyone doing tonight? Hopefully, everybody's doing great around the world. I appreciate everybody tuning in to this particular episode of the Deep Dive Podcast. We're having a great time, man. Again, I appreciate all of your support so much. You just don't know how much your support means to me and really other people around the world. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Wanted to talk to you a little bit tonight about how to market yourself. Again, a lot of topics that we receive, we get those from our friends on the Facebook group, the Deep Dive Podcast Facebook group. So I appreciate your input. And one thing that people ask a lot is how do you market yourself? People that are looking to get into business or people who want to advance in their professional career, be it their job or whatever it may be. That is the question. How do you market yourself? So we want to talk a little bit tonight about some things that you can tangibly do to market yourself to make sure that you're the best version of who you would like to be as you go out or start to pursue whatever it is that you're looking to pursue, whether it's your business, your career, whatever that may be. But one of the first things you want to do when you're talking about marketing yourself is to be able to define your personal brand through your strengths. What are some of your strengths? What are some things that are unique to you? What are some skills that you may have? And you think about this for a little bit. You have certain types of strengths, you have certain types of skills. What are your values? A lot of times when you're marketing yourself, people can market themselves just based on their values. What do you believe in? What are you passionate about? Right? What are some of your passions? Here's something that's always a headliner when it comes to being able to market yourself, and that is what sets you apart from everyone else. What makes you unique? Now, not that you have to be unique, but when you're talking about marketing yourself, it would help if you had some aspect of who you are that was exclusive to you, whatever that may be, right? So, defining yourself is important, defining your identity and your skill set. All of these things are very important in terms of being able to market yourself. But a part of that, and we talk about this not just in marketing, but with everything. This is why I told you it's so important that to be able to set goals. You have to be able to set goals. Now, people may say, well, what does setting goals have to do with me being marketable? Well, you got to determine what you want. What is it that you want? What are you trying to achieve in terms of self marketing? What is it that you want? And your goals typically will outline what is it that you want. Are you looking again to pursue a certain position on your job? Are you looking to become an influencer? Are you looking to, have other clients for your business, other opportunities, collaborations? What is it that you're looking for? So when we're talking about setting your goals, this is not to just say, hey, goal setting, it is important. We know that. But how does it relate to marketing? It relates to just give you a template in terms of what it is that you're looking to do. Something else is very important. You have to develop what I like to call a compelling narrative. What does that mean? That's a story. We talk to people all the time. We let them know. Facts tell, but stories sell. Facts tell, but stories sell. So, what is that compelling narrative about you? You want to be able to craft a concise and an engaging story. You're telling a story. You're writing a book about yourself, a script about yourself, a miniature version of who you are, just telling a story. And that story should be compelling. There should be a compelling narrative about what it is that you're looking to do. These stories should actually showcase either your expertise, some of your life experiences, or some achievements that you may have, but it has to be something that's going to draw people in. That's going to be very interesting. And a lot of times the story doesn't have to be something that's positive. It could be something, a challenge that you've overcome. But at the end of the day, you need that compelling story. And you want to make sure that you highlight, your value proposition. What does that mean? Well, what are you offering? You want to highlight what are you offering and highlight that based on your skill sets, or you want to be able to demonstrate to whoever it is you're sharing your message with, how they can either solve a problem or how you can meet their needs or help them meet their needs or something specific to a target audience. But all of these things are important when you're talking about creating that compelling narrative, that compelling story. All of those things are very, very important. So keep that in mind and keep it concise, make it relatable. People don't want to hear long, drawn out, whatever. What does it do? What is it that you do? And how is it that what you do can benefit the listener, the people that you're trying to market to or influence in some capacity? Also, you want to be able to create a professional online presence. Now, I use that word intentionally, professional online presence, because people have stuff just kind of just plastered all over social media. There's no consistency in messaging. There's no rhyme or reason why this is done that way. I have some people who are part of the marketing directors of my company. They're actually the co-hosts of the Buzz talk show, Kara and Carmela, but they're also experts in marketing. And one of the things that they share with me is that you want to make sure that your online presence, first of all, is clean, is separated from, let's say if you're building a business entity. Well, sometimes you want to have that separate from your personal entity, because if you're having, parties and things that don't associate with your business, you don't want that combined and kind of grouped together, right? So you want to have a very clear online presence, but you want it to be professional. You want to make sure everything, and this is very, very important, because there are a lot of people who have social media presence, but then they wonder, why don't they get traction in terms of likes or follows or all of these other kind of things? Well, it's because they don't build a professional online presence. So you want to build a strong digital footprint. And how do you do that? Well, it's basically by setting up or establishing a website that may be relevant to what you're doing. Some people may be into or need to be into blogging, to set up a blog, some type of creative profile that may be relevant to what you're doing. But creating profiles or creative profile that's relevant in all of the social media platforms, that can go a long way in terms of capturing someone's attention, whether it's the buzzwords or whether it's sizzle product or you as the sizzle product, whatever it may be. But how are you going to capture someone's imagination just based on your creative profile, right? How are you going to word that so it captures someone's attention? Also, to optimize your online presence. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times people will have outdated information. I've gone to people's social media site because something captured my attention and I wanted to follow up. And then I would click a link to a website, and then the website, it's not active. It's no longer working, or the images are no longer working. I'm gonna tell you one of my secrets to whether or not I do business with certain companies. One of my secrets is, when I go to their website, before I look at any of the content, I scroll all the way to the bottom and I look at their copyright date or the time frame or how that's set up, because that should be updated annually, right? Because everything should be relevant for that particular year. And if that information is not up to date, then I know that they're not taking good care. They're not good stewards over their business. And that may be one of the deciding factors of whether or not I do business with them. So we're talking about having a professional online presence. We're talking about making sure that everything is in order the way it should be. Addresses are correct, phone numbers are correct. The worst thing that you could do is have a phone number on your website or your, social media presence, and someone want to contact you about a job or contact you about your business or whatever, and it's not the right phone number or it's not the right email address or ad. So keep that stuff up to date, guys. That, if you're going to be a pro. And all of these things matter, right? If you're talking about marketing yourself, all of these things matter. I know it matters to me. I look at those type things. I don't particularly care about the fluff because a lot of websites and all this stuff is a bunch of fluff. That doesn't really, impress me. But what impresses me in terms of whether or not I want to do business with you is to, or not, not just do business. I don't want it to sound egotistical like that. But what I mean is if it's somebody that I'm trying to make a decision about, okay, do I go with person A or person B? Sometimes these little things make the biggest difference for me. And I'm sure a lot of other people as consumers, they feel the same way. Now, when you utilizing social media, you want to build and utilize it strategically. That means you're not just doing something. There's a strategy behind how you leverage your social media platforms. How do you leverage your LinkedIn accounts? How do you leverage your Twitter and your Facebook and Instagram? How do you leverage these accounts? How do you actually connect with your target audience? Here's a big mistake that a lot of people make in terms of marketing themselves is they try to market to everyone, and a lot of that information is not relevant to the end user or the end listener or the end viewer. It's not relevant. So why would I care about it? But when you scale that down to your target audience, then now you have a higher response time, you have a higher reaction time, you have everything is better because you're focused on your target audience. That's going to be very important when you're marketing yourself. So you're not just throwing stuff out there, unless that's your model, but you're not just throwing stuff out there. Who are you talking to? And what would you like to accomplish by talking to this particular audience? That's going to be very important as you build your social media strategy, your email campaigns, putting these things together. You're not just sending an email. If you want to talk about basketball, you're not just sending your emails to football players. You want to start by sending it to basketball players, an audience that's relevant to what it is that you're trying to do in terms of marketing yourself. So that's very, very important. Also, when you're targeting people, you're targeting your audience. It could be, industry professionals. Well, you want to target industry professionals. Again, note the word professionals. They're looking for certain things to be done a certain way. You may also be targeting conferences or seminars or things of that nature where it will help you build relationships in terms of marketing yourself. Again, where there's a strategy. So think about it from this standpoint. Wonder if you establish yourself as a thought leader in your particular field. You become an expert in your particular field. Man, you're talking about marketing yourself. Now you start to have people coming to you because you become an expert in that particular field. That's also why the networking and the relationships, building of the relationships are so very important. I am a big, 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 big proponent of relationship building. You can get so much more done by the relationships that you have than sweat equity. I'm telling you, there have been many occasions, numerous occasions where, I picked up the phone and made a call for someone and, things got done right away. Or sometimes people may come to me. There are people that can come to me and I don't need to vet any situation. They may say, Sam, I need you to do this, X, Y, and Z. But based on the relationship that I have with that particular person, I don't need to know anything else. I don't have to ask questions because I know the person that I have built this relationship with. I trust in what they say. I trust their judgment. I trust their discernment. I trust their awareness. I trust who they are. I trust their integrity. So I don't have to ask a bunch of questions. I know that they wouldn't do anything that would do me harm, not intentionally. So if they came to me, with anything based on the relationship, like let's roll with it, right? That's the power of building relationships. But you're talking about again marketing yourself. So how do you build these relationships? You got to network with people. Network with people, especially in your target market. Like I said, attend industry events, attend conferences, attend seminars, trade shows, meet and connect with people. Connect with people on that level, meet them where they are. That's going to be very important as you build these relationships. You want to actively engage in networking with people. It's just not something that you do passively. If you're going to build and market yourself on a grandiose scale, then you got to actively network and actively collaborate with these individuals. Now, you can do that whether it's both online, you can do that if it's offline in terms of trade shows or professional connections or networking connections, whatever it may be. The bottom line is you want to write these two words down: gain exposure. You want to gain exposure. So be it online, be it offline, trade shows, networking events, conference events, webinars, whatever it may be, you want to gain exposure. That's what's going to help you in terms of marketing yourself. And a part of that is to actually just showcase your work or showcase your expertise. What is it that you are an expert in? Showcase that, because it's more effective than just basically talking to people about it. Show them what you have done. Documentation beats conversation. So showcase your work, showcase your expertise, create a portfolio, or a showcase of your projects. You want to go ahead and do that. Create that of your projects, because again, that documentation is going to be the conversation. It could be case studies, it could be relevant samples of your work, it could be whatever highlights what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay. If you're in an environment where blogging is important or things of that nature are important, then publish articles, write blogs, continue to contribute to certain industry blogs or industry pages. All of these things are important. Participate in speaking engagements. I do a lot of speaking all over the world, actually. I do a lot of speaking, some of which may be virtual, but I do a lot of speaking. Well, you want to showcase that work. Take snippets of you performing, whether it's on speaking or presenting or training or whatever it may be, and make that a part of your portfolio. But these things really, again, that documentation literally beats the conversation. So you want to make sure you do that. Then also, you want to look at it from a perspective of you got to continuously learn and improve what you're doing so that you can become more marketable. Because a lot of times you look at people and they're like, okay, well, how can I, become more marketable, or how can I do certain things in this particular area of my life? Well, it's simple. You got to grow in that particular area of your life. You got to continuously learn. You got to continuously improve. Stay updated with industry trends. Stay updated with advancements in technologies. Stay updated with the best practices for what it is that you're trying to share with people. All of these things are very important. You want to also invest in your professional development. Now, what does that mean? That means through courses. I'm a big, again, proponent of courses because I actually have executive coaching courses. A lot of my friends have executive coaching courses. And sometimes people might say, well, why is this so important? Because it instills knowledge and information in you that helps you grow in a specific area. You're not taking a course on how to speak, how to publicly speak, if you're not intending to publicly speak, right? So those courses are relevant to what you're doing. So courses are very important. Certifications are very important. Getting certified in a particular area. I have a good friend of mine. He's already a physical therapist, but he's getting additional certifications in terms of taking that next step, as far as being a physical trainer, physical therapist, so forth and so on. Shout out to you, Crosby, my boy. But yeah, so those certifications are very important because they're going to take you to another level when you're talking about marketing yourself. Workshops, go to workshops. It's going to sharpen your skills. Okay. It's going to help you enhance what it is that you're doing. And it also demonstrates your commitment to your own growth and your own improvement. it tells people that you're looking at that as you're looking to build and and get out there and market yourself. Like this person is serious about what they're doing. I see them, doing this. I see them committing to their own personal growth. I see them committing to their own personal improvement. I don't mind investing my time, even if it's just being a part of their network. I don't mind that when I see that they're taking themselves so seriously. So that's very important to continuously learn, continuously to improve. And I'll start to close out by just sharing with this. One of the biggest things in terms of marketing yourself is to make sure that you're consistent and you're authentic. Okay. You're consistent and you're authentic. That means you are who you are, and people gravitate to that level of authenticity. I know a lot of times I laugh at myself on these podcasts, but a lot of times I'll get on these podcasts and I kind of get on a bit of a rant, if you will. Sometimes I get a bit of a tangent, and some of those things come off, and then I'm so unapologetic about it, right? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get in trouble. People going to, they're going to get on my case for saying what I said and all this other kind of stuff. But I'm here to tell you guys, my numbers have never really taken a dip. Never. You know why? Because people gravitate to authenticity. They know this is who I am, right? They tune in because this is who I am. I don't try to be anybody else. I just try to be me. I don't have, proper grammar like a lot of other people. I don't speak as articulately as other people. All this other stuff doesn't mean I'm not educated, doesn't know what I'm doing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm me. This is who I am. And people gravitate to that authenticity. So that's one thing you want to do in terms of marketing yourself, is to be authentic. The other thing is, again, is to just be consistent. If you're going to post, continue to post. If you're going to do this, continue to do that. Don't do it this week and don't do it for 2 more weeks and do it again, this week. One thing that I admire about the Buzz Talk Show, I talked about them earlier, but one thing I admire about them is these ladies, they have been consistent for 3 seasons every single week, building their audience without fail. They have not missed a week in 3 seasons and doing the Buzz Talk Show. They're very, very consistent. Well, why is that the case? Because they're building an audience. They're building a following. They're building a network. This is why they've been so very, very successful, because they are a model of what marketing is all about. And I know those ladies understand. So the consistency, I've been trying to tell them, hey, look, why don't you just take a break? My podcast and other podcasts is seasonal. We go for a few months, we take a few months off during the season, we start the next season. Right? My season 4 start in January. So some point soon, season 3 ends, right? But they've been very consistent. They have not missed a week for 3 seasons. So and the numbers show it. So that consistency is very, very important. So being consistent, being authentic to who you are, maintain that consistent brand voice. That means whenever you're out, when you're talking about your company, when you're talking about yourself, when you're talking about your job or talking about advancement, make sure that you maintain a consistent brand voice and image, for that matter, across all of your marketing channels. Make sure that it's consistent. If there's something that you're trying to convey, make sure you're conveying that through all social media platforms and all marketing channels. When you look at my podcast, and my podcast is a little bit different when you're talking about marketing, because I have a built-in audience through One Voice Radio. So my marketing is not as what's the word I'm looking for? It's not as important as someone else's marketing to their target audience, because I have a built-in target audience, nearly 500,000 people every week tuning into the One Voice Radio platform. So we extract people who enjoy empowerment from that. But absent of something that's already created like that, then you want to make sure that you're consistent with your voice, consistent with your image, all of these things across all marketing channels. And again, in being authentic, make sure you're being authentic with your interactions, make sure you're genuine, your personality shines. If you got a great personality, let it shine, let it flow. Don't be reserved. Let that personality flow because people, again, they're attracted to that particular aspect of who you are. Let that personality flow through your communications, through your platforms, everything that you do. So, yeah, so these are just a few things that hopefully will help you in terms of marketing yourself. I know, I'm not a marketing expert, so you may want to back these things up with a marketing expert, but having spoken to some marketing experts. And again, speaking to the ladies of the buzz who are marketing experts. And again, if you got events, weddings, parties, just all kinds of stuff, these ladies come out and they really bring the noise in terms of introducing speakers, performers, hosting. They've done an incredible job. Whether it's events, carnivals, weddings. I know you like, am I plugging the buzz? Yes, I am. Uh, but that's because they are marketing experts. They understand this space that we're talking about today. So I felt compelled to let you know they're not just talking about what it takes to market and be successful. They're doing it. The riverboat cruise, they host these type of events. All of this stuff, you want to make sure that you put in the work and you'll get the results, like the ladies of the buzz. So, with that, guys, again, thank you so much for joining me on this particular episode of the Deep Dive Podcast. I'm excited to always share with you messages of empowerment, continuously sharing with you things that could help you build and grow. Go to our Facebook page, and it's a private Facebook group, and go ahead and join the group because there are a lot of nuggets there as well. And of course, you want to go to the website, which is the deep dive podcast.live, LIVE, and like, subscribe, download, and share. We're on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, iTunes. I mean, we're on everywhere. I should say iHeart, everywhere, 22 plus podcast platforms. All right. So let's go out and get it. Let's market ourselves. Let's be great together. Let's win together. I'm excited about not just talking about this stuff. Let's go out and do it. Y'all with me? Let's do it. God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you on the beaches of the world.